And the experience of Tropical Storm Erica in 2015 has moved businesses to reassess their continuity plans and sustainability strategies. With total damages and loss of 1.3 billion EC dollars, which is equivalent to approximately 90% of Dominica's gross domestic product, many employers were undoubtedly unprepared for the economic loss sustained, and therefore the Dominica Employers Federation, in collaboration with the Caribbean Employers Confederation and the International Labour Organization, with funding from the European Union, will be hosting a 2-day workshop on the theme Business Continuity and Disaster Recovery. Vanessa Fowler, who is Senior Specialist Employers Activities at ILO, Decent Work Team and Office for the Caribbean, explained that the Business Continuity and Disaster Recovery Workshop is designed to help enterprises in Dominica and the wider Caribbean assess and implement proactive measures in the event of worst-case scenarios such as disasters.
We're rolling out these workshops in support of the European Union, and basically this is just to make sure that businesses are prepared and businesses are ready and they are resilient to be able to deal with natural disasters. Of course we can't stop them, but we can only better prepare ourselves to engage and to deal with them. So these discussions or these workshops basically are meant to improve the level of readiness by the private sector in terms of business preparedness and readiness, but most importantly to also facilitate some engagement and a better understanding in terms of the role of the National Disaster Office. Let me share with you that this is the third workshop that we are having on this particular issue. The first workshop we had in Grenada, the second workshop was in the Bahamas, and this is the third workshop. And we saw in the discussion in Grenada how important it is for members of the community, for the business community, to understand what is the role of the National Disaster Office before the disaster, during the disaster, and after the disaster. And involving the offices in these discussions, we've seen that it has indeed positive outcomes.
Labour Commissioner in the Ministry of Justice, Immigration and National Security, Dr. Matthew LeBlanc, during his remarks, explained further.
Businesses are significantly affected, and families and employees, workforces are affected, finances are affected, economies are affected, the society is affected, and the impact of disaster is huge everywhere around the world. In this context, that business operators today must be continuously concerned about their recovery and survival in an environment that seems to be continually compelling and challenging. It compels us to rethink as it relates to the goal of developing a sustainable and profitable business, because you won't be in business if you do not want to have a profit. And these challenges of disasters really cause us to now rethink on how it is that we prepare ourselves to survive the disaster and to continue the business.
LeBlanc further addressed the domino effect that disasters can have on the social and economic structure of the society.
It directs my thoughts to the human catastrophe we would face when so many hardworking young persons still able to contribute to their development and that of our lovely nation would become jobless and unable to carry out that dignified task of providing for themselves and their families. It also takes my mind to the numerous hardworking entrepreneurs and businessmen and women who would now become job seekers rather than job creators in a time when jobs are simply not available. By now, if we are following with me, we can already imagine of the spilling negative domino effect that a disaster can have on the social and economic structures of our societies.
In order to survive, recover, and continue in business after disaster, LeBlanc stressed businesses must take necessary steps to prepare for it by developing the disaster plans. LeBlanc did caution, however, that the recovery of businesses should not come at the expense of the dignity and rights of employees. A total of 25 entrepreneurs and social partners from the Ministry of National Security, labor unions, and the private sector will participate in the workshop.